welcome back to another video. It looks like you ordered a 10-piece Wisdom McNugget. I'm going to deliver. And also, this doesn't cost you any money. And no, you don't get any sauces either. Hey, cat. Anyway, I just got back from a Picorni seminar 2022. I'm going to do a full review of the seminar. Hey, cat. In a later date when I'm not so busy. Of course, I flew back and I have to do Disney a couple days, so I have no time except to do this little video. I took a bunch of notes, I took a bunch of recordings from the seminar, and I thought I'd give you 10 Wisdom McNuggets that I picked up over the course of the seminar. First one is one that I got in a masterclass with James Markey. Yes, the James Markey, the good one. And it's a problem that I've had for a long time where I don't really trust my air. And the way he put it is, your chops are a surfer on a wave. Whoosh. And if you don't give that surfer a good wave, you're not going to have a good time surfing. So give that surfer a really good wave. Give your chops really good air. Everything's going to be way easier. And seriously, massive difference in my playing instantly just from that one thing. Next one, got this from Dr. Andrew Glendenning in a masterclass with him. Get the vocal cords out of the breath. When you open your mouth wide, you hear that noise. When you inhale, that's the vocal cords getting in the way of the breath, which causes tension in the neck, slows down the air, and then when you breathe out, that ha sound in the back actually diffuses the air and makes everything harder. What you want to do is breathe through the lips. Feel like the air is passing past the lips and not in a wide open way. And that gets the vocal cords out of the way of the air, both on the inhale and the exhale. Again, massive difference in my playing right away from this one thing. This has helped me immensely today playing at work. One that is so obvious to a lot of people, but gets lost in the noise, gets lost in the mind time to time, is just hear the sound that you want to come out of the bell before it comes out. A lot of times I'll get stuck in my head, I get stuck thinking about this stuff, feeling how I'm playing, and I forget that on the other side of the bell, I want beautiful sounds and music to come out. So if you hear that sound before you play and listen for it as it comes out, you're going to play better. I heard this from probably like every single person at the seminar. And I also learned it myself like 3-4 weeks ago, and it's so easy for that to go whoosh after like a week of thinking, yes, I want to make this sound. I've heard this from so many different people, the same effects. This one's from Jeremy Wilson. Potential minus interference is your performance. It's kind of an equation, right? So you have your potential way up here. I could play just as good as James Markey on my best day. I'm just making that up. I probably couldn't. But if I add the interference, or subtract it, I guess, this is actually where I'm going to perform. I'm never going to live up to that full potential of playing something perfectly with an amazing sound and perfect musicality like Jim Markey can, because I have so much more interference than he does. Not having perfect chops, not having a perfect imagination of what I'm going to do, not having amazing air. All these things add up to interference. That interference can mean a lot of different things. It can just mean you didn't get enough sleep last night, and therefore you add to that interference. And it's just a good thing to think about. We want to minimize that interference so we get closer to our potential. But even those top players, Jim Markey, Jeremy Wilson, etc., have a little bit of interference all the time, but their potential is so high, they still sound great pretty much all the time. Next one. Give yourself wins. Tallies in the win category. This one is from Chris Olka, tuba player. He's basically just like, if you're playing something that is in any way difficult, it could be something really easy, but basically anything. Say it's Fountains of Rome, the bass trombone excerpt. Instead of going ba 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 and playing at full volume, maximum tempo, all the markings, every single note right off the bat, give yourself wins. play it super slow. Take out the articulations, take out the notes, play it on just rhythms. Give yourself wins so that you can add up these small wins, and eventually you get to the point where you can play the entire thing, rather than going for one giant win and inevitably losing every single time, because there's no way you're just going to instantly play this really difficult thing. You need to tally up those wins, and eventually, ta-da, you just did the whole thing. I thought that was really good. This might be a 9-piece Wisdom McNugget. Let's see. I might not have enough. Anyway, fearless air attacks. I think I also got this from Dr. Glendenning, but I heard it from Jim Markey as well. The air attacks are a massive boon to your playing, but only if you trust them and you keep the air moving, right? And this is actually ties into something Chris Olka said as well. When you do an action like throwing a dart, you do it all in one smooth motion. There's never a point where you stop and then you throw the dart. And so that air in and air out needs to be one continuous motion, and it needs to be fearless. And if you have that hitch or that mistrust of your air attack, and you have that little space before the air attack, it's not going to happen, right? You just need to and it's okay to miss some of those air attacks, because the more times you do them, the better they will get, and the more you will trust that air attack. And all you have to do is just add in the air, or a little bit of tongue at the beginning of that air, and now you're not air attacking, you're just playing. And you're probably playing pretty gosh darn well. Go for intervals always. Don't shy away. So this is from Tim Riordan, who's a trombone teacher in the Chicago area, teaches trombone at NIU. He pointed out to us that in the Randy Hawes and Jim Markey recital, which is one of the nights, I'll talk about that in the full review, you could hear from both of the players that there were a bunch of really difficult intervals and stuff. And this was in a masterclass with one of our fellow bass trombone performers, and they would never shy away from these intervals. Sometimes they would miss these intervals, like crazy large leaps or just awkward sounding things, whatever it would be. Maybe it was really fast. They would not shy away from these things. For instance, for tenor trombone players, the beginning two notes of Morceau symphonique, B flat to G flat. If you're scared of that note coming out, the G flat, like I probably am right now because I've played this in 10 years, you're probably going to miss it. But if you just go for it, you hear the interval, and you just go for it, just hear it being perfect and just trust that it's going to happen. And do that a few times, guess what? You're going to build up that trust, and all of a sudden, it's not a scary interval anymore. It's just a normal thing. Again, give yourself those wins of doing it maybe incorrectly a few times, but then eventually getting it correctly, instead of just playing it wrong and being like, oh man, it's so difficult, I don't want to play this. Give yourself those wins and go for those intervals. There's a lot of scary stuff, like in the Bach Sarabande of Fifth Cello Suite that we play on bass trombone a lot, and you get scared of going from C in the staff to low C, and so your air will back off just enough that you do miss it. You're actually making yourself miss the interval instead of going for the interval and making it happen. Hey, Cap. This is a really cool exercise. So this is more air attack things. This is from Jim Markey. It's a very simple exercise. We're going to play 5 notes up, air attack the top note, play the 5 notes back down, air attack the bottom note. Etc. You're going to play in the scale of F, just play diatonically up until you get to a note that you stop on. Maybe it's double F, maybe it's the G below that, doesn't really matter. The point is, when you air attack that and you play those 5 notes nice and legato and connected, you're training your body to go, oh, that's how these notes start the most easy way. And again, these have to be, hey kitty, fearless air attacks. If you start backing off, you start to tense up here, it doesn't really count, does it? Hey, cat. Also, the cat has some advice, I guess, but since we don't understand meowese, we don't understand it. A point of wisdom from myself. Yes, I'm so wise. I'm so old. I have so much experience. I thought I'd share this with you. I'll give you an analogy. You're playing. Your abilities are like a target in the middle of the ocean, just in a random place in the middle of the ocean. And you are on a boat that has no anchor, but you do have paddles. And all of us are on a journey to find and get to this target. The thing is, if you get to the target, or even if you get close, you don't get to stop paddling. You don't go, oh cool, I'm there. You ship your paddles, put them in, and you lay back, crack open a beer or whatever. Because if you do that, you're just going to drift away. You have no anchor. Just going to keep drifting. It doesn't really matter which direction, does it? You're just going to drift. Maybe a storm comes up and it blows you away, and you have to paddle back really fast. All of these top pros are saying, like, oh yeah, we have bad days, bad weeks, bad months, bad years, etc. They have to figure things out. Even when they're at their top of their game, they can be like, oh, I actually can't play high and soft right now. And they have to start from scratch on that individual piece of their playing. So constantly be paddling. It's not an apex. It's not like getting to the top of the mountain and being like, well, I'm here. I'm just going to build a cabin and I'm good to go. You have to constantly be paddling towards that spot in the ocean. Hey, kitty. I think that was 9 Wisdom McNuggets. I apologies. Sometimes you don't get all 9. Sometimes you get 11. I've gotten 12 once. That's all I really got for today. Someone requested that I wear sunglasses today. Hello, Liam. Hopefully you watch this video. And I have a full review, not exactly a review, but in review of the 2022 Picorni seminar coming soon. That's all I got for now. Bye-bye.